You might be drafting your redraft team. You might have already drafted your redraft team, but the most important thing you want to do is always be looking to improve, and especially at the end of the bench. So today we're talking through some stashes that you need to be adding. Make sure that they're not out there on the waiver wire so that you have ultimate level upside heading into week 1. And last year, we gave some really good stashes. I'm pretty proud of myself. Raheem Mostert was going off the board as RB52. We made sure to tell you guys at the beginning of the video, hey, make sure that Raheem Mostert stashed. Raheem Mostert absolutely balled out for you last year. So this year, we're going to be diving into some guys. And the first guys that we're going to be talking about, I want to just say, if these guys are out there on waiver wires, make sure that you have them picked up. Josh Palmer for the Chargers is going to be the true X. Khalil Shakir, potential for the Buffalo Bills, high-end upside wide receiver. Chuba Hubbard, I love some Jonathan Brooks, but Chuba Hubbard's going to be the starter for at least the first 4 to 5 weeks of the season. Pop Douglas, Demario Pop Douglas for the Patriots. The Patriots offense is going to be very bad. They're going to have to throw the ball a ton, but some of these young wide receiver pass catchers are going to have to step up. And then the other guy is going to be Jalen Polk, who also is a part of that New England Patriots pass catching group. But getting to my actual wide receiver ads, first guy we're going to talk about is going to be Dontayvion Wicks for the Green Bay Packers. And when we're looking at this Packers offense, there's a lot of talk of Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, but Dontayvion Wicks out of the University of Miami last year as a rookie had his flashes. And if you've been on the Twitter landscape, it's probably everybody's like favorite sleeper. So there's a good chance that Dontayvion Wicks is actually already on another roster, but on the side chance that he's actually out there on waivers, I want you to make sure you go pick him up if you have someone of lesser value. And if you want to ask me if I should drop somebody for this guy, ask me down below in the comments. But I like some Dontayvion Wicks. I think there's a chance he actually pushes for that wide receiver 3 role. I know we got Reed, we got Christian Watson, but I think the Romeo Doubs, as much as there's a lot of people that love him, I think Dontayvion Wicks could potentially be a little bit more explosive than him in my own personal opinion. So I would love to add some Dontayvion Wicks if he is there available too. The next two guys that I'm going to be talking about, I'm kind of going to be talking about in a tandem. It's going to be A.D. Mitchell and Josh Downs. A.D. Mitchell gets drafted out of the University of Texas to the Indianapolis Colts in the second round. Josh Downs gets injured. So a lot of people start to boost up A.D. Mitchell, and I just put out my rankings, and I honestly had A.D. Mitchell and Josh Downs pretty low. So there's a good chance that they are out there for you on your overall waivers. The thing that makes me excited about this offense is we got a full season of Anthony Richardson. And so we haven't seen a full season of Anthony Richardson. Last year, we got to see Gardner Minshew and Josh Downs have a pretty good chemistry. Josh Downs finished as like a wide receiver 45 on a points per game basis. So if A.D. Mitchell and Josh Downs can even just both do that, I think they're both going to return on their fantasy football draft capital that you're going to need to invest in them. But even best case scenario, what if this Indianapolis Colts offense is super electric and one of those guys steps up? I know a lot of people like Michael Pittman Jr. We on the channel, I'm not a big fan of Michael Pittman Jr. in my own faith. I think you could actually probably make the argument that A.D. Mitchell and Josh Downs are more explosive than Michael Pittman Jr. But we're going to have to see how this ends up playing out in this Indianapolis Colts offense. So let me know what you think of A.D. Mitchell and Josh Downs as stashes down below. My next player in the wide receiver core to beat stashes is going to be Michael Wilson Jr. And Michael Wilson Jr. made, I swear, every freaking weekly stash video, because last year he really started to show flashes weeks 4 to week 6 and then kind of fizzled out towards the end of the season. But this year, not only do we have Marvin Harrison Jr. added across, we got a second year of Trey McBride being the elite level tight end that he has turned into being. A lot of people are worried about Zay Jones across, thinking that Zay Jones is going to take the Michael Wilson role. But let's not forget, Michael Wilson has the 3rd round draft capital out of Stanford. This is the second year for Michael Wilson Jr. We have seen the flashes. It is really exciting when we're talking about this Arizona Cardinals offense. So especially getting some of these later round wide receivers that have high end upside, I do like to do and stash on my bench, because honestly, you can kind of move in and out. You can use them as waiver wire trade bait, but heading into week 1, Michael Wilson Jr. is definitely a stash. I am stashing on a lot of my redraft rosters. Moving on to the running back ad section. And the first guy is going to be Jaleel McLaughlin. And I also put Audric Estime for the Denver Broncos. Listen, the Denver Broncos, you got Bo Nix as a starting quarterback, and a lot of people are starting to warm up to Javonte Williams, warm up to this overall like workload that these running backs are going to have. But Jaleel McLaughlin last year, he kind of was a major waiver wire pickup for you. Had himself a week where Javonte, of course, was going to be out, and it was like Jaleel McLaughlin is going to be a little bit of Devon, and we got to see that elite level speed. We got to see not an elite level workload. I think he did it in like 8 or 10 touches, but I do think a lot of people looking at Jaleel McLaughlin, he is going to be the clear 3rd down running back for this Denver Broncos offense. And as much as I like Javonte Williams, I think there's a ton of volume. I do think all this running backs. If something were to happen to Javonte, and it's not even just a handcuff, Jaleel McLaughlin honestly is a little bit more explosive as a running back. So if he were to get more touches and they could consistently get Jaleel McLaughlin like 7 to 10 touches a game, I think we could be looking at Jaleel McLaughlin being an absolutely late round stash. Audric Estime, same exact way. He's kind of a big plotter out of the University of Notre Dame. I'm intrigued to see. A lot of like hype has been made about Audric Estime kind of coming out of camp. He's the young rookie, big. He's not super fast, but he is in between the tackles, so he will be potentially getting that workload. Like I said, when we're kind of sitting here, and especially in, if you went with a hero RB type build and you only have one elite level running back and maybe you got some more flyers, Audric Estime is a great guy to take a shot on as well. The last guy that I'm taking a shot on potentially is going to be Kimani Vidal. And I'm telling you this, I'm giving you guys all these running back stashes. It doesn't mean go drop some of your guys and go pick up these guys. It just means if you have a spot available, or if you feel a little bit worried about maybe, hey, someone at the end of my bench, I think Kimani Vidal is a great option to potentially add, because yes, Gus Edwards is going to be the starter for the Los Angeles Chargers, but Kimani Vidal got the draft capital. And as much as a lot of people are hyped up on J.K. Dobbins was given a $40,000 contract full of incentives, essentially to help him move to LA. It's like a prove it deal. And Kimani Vidal is a little bit more explosive to me in this part of their career. Listen, we haven't seen a running back come back from an Achilles tear and ACL tears and be super prolific. I mean, Cam Akers has kind of stuck around the NFL and we felt okay about it. They were in the same draft cast, J.K. Dobbins and Cam Akers, but we're also not talking about Cam Akers with ultimate level upside. A lot of people are getting hyped about J.K. Dobbins. I just think it's because we haven't necessarily seen J.K. Dobbins. Listen, give me some Kimani Vidal. I think Kimani is going to be a high upside shot. Not that something needs to happen to Gus Edwards for Kimani to have a ton of fantasy football value, but I do think like a Jalen Warren type ascension could happen for Kimani. And then my final players we're going to be talking about is in the tight end landscape. And then maybe you missed out on those top 6 tight ends. If you missed out on those top 6 tight ends, you do need to be taking shots on guys that could potentially get there for you. First guy is going to be Ben Sinnott for the Washington Commanders, was drafted in the 2nd round out of Kansas State University, gets to pair up with Jaden Daniels, and a rookie quarterback absolutely loves his tight ends. So give me some Ben Sinnott as a late round shot. Listen, I understand not every year are we going to have these late round tight ends turn into Sam Laporta or turn into Dalton Kincaid. But even if Ben Sinnott is, let's just say, tight end 12 to 14 on a points per game basis, that's going to be absolutely insane value that you got to pick up on your tight end spot, especially if you absolutely hammered running back, wide receiver, quarterback positions, and you kind of got stuck with a not ideal tight end play. If you have an elite level tight end, I wouldn't be going and picking up Ben Sinnott because I like to only have one elite level tight end and then not really stash. I'd rather stash a running back or a wide receiver. If you do have really crappy tight ends, give me some Ben Sinnott. And the next guy is going to be Noah Fant. Noah Fant got the contract for the Seattle Seahawks. Listen, with Ryan Grubb and this new offense, I don't know how that's going to play. I really think Noah Fant is an electric level tight end. He just hasn't shown it consistently in the NFL. And to be completely honest, in the Denver Broncos offense, he was like the 4th receiving option. And even in the Seahawks offense, he's going to be the 4th option. But last year, you had like Cody Parkes, and you had a bunch of these other tight ends that were kind of beating him out. So I think they see the value in Noah Fant. That's why they gave him the contract extension. And so I definitely think Noah Fant is a good potential stash to have. So if you like fantasy football content, hit that like and subscribe button, providing you the best fantasy football stashes each and every week, providing you start sit analysis each and every week on the way to 3,000 subscribers. Want you here in the community to help you win a fantasy football championship in 2024. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.